Hello, everyone. Mark, you clapped your hands.
I clapped only because you clapped, and then it made me want to clap.
It's all about peer pressure. Anyway, this is Sam with MissionMonday.com. Over there is
Mark at MissionMonday.com.
And we're coming to you on this awesome Strive network, Strive.tv, which helps tell schools stories, and we're here to make those stories worth telling. Mark, I'm going to let you know I'm excited for a few reasons.
Oh, I want to hear every one of them.
Well, number one,
nice
Christmas tree. My wife is over there. We're watching Elf. And on the ride home from work today, I listened to my favorite Christmas song. You know what my favorite Christmas song is?
Use Me.
No, that's not a Christmas song.
Oh.
Turn It Down for What? Little John with DJ Snake. I love that tune.
As if that's a Christmas song.
It feels Christmassy to me. Anyway, hey, we've had a few people tweet us back with some traditions from our mission last week, which I think is super. And I'm going to let you know that through the rest of the year before the new year, if you want to continue to tweet us some of your traditions. Mark, would you be all right with that? Is that okay with you?
I would not be opposed to the tweeting of the missions, no.
No opposition to that. But that brings us to this week's mission, which this is something we have done. We kind of slowed our roll just a little bit on it this year, but it's something we've done the last couple of years, that as we roll into the new year, we want to reinforce some good habits and help people get going on a New Year's resolution before we get to that whole New Year's Eve thing. Mark, have you heard of that research where it says you have to practice a behavior for 21 days before it becomes a habit? Have you heard that?
I have heard that. I can't tell you where I heard it or why I heard it or if I read it or heard it in the song, like a rap Christmas song or something. But for some reason, I do know 21 days is the number of days.
I have heard that, and if people are watching the video, they've now heard it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I do know that when you start to practice habits on a consistent daily basis, good things happen because of that. Just before I hit record, your son Sandy was in the background, and I love this story because way back in the day, I do this to Sammy, your kid. I do this to Clint's kid, Jack, all the time. Whenever I see him, I was like, hey, how many push-ups you do today? Because to me, push-ups are important. And then I start to throw out there, you do any of the push-ups where you clap. And again, it's like, what about clap behind your back? Which is not an easy thing to do. And it was earlier this year that you let me know, your boy Sammy was like, Sam told me I should be able to clap behind my back when I do push-ups. And it took him how long?
He says he just tonight said 2 years.
2 years. But you know what?
Which is technically more than 21 days, right? It's more than 21 days.
But what I'm saying is I'm betting he practiced some habits on a real consistent basis to be able to get to that goal.
Right.
So what we want people to
also, sometimes after 21 days, right? Because that's the magic number. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't reached it, some people will be like, I gave it 21 days. It's not worth it.
And that's not what we want to do.
Sometimes it takes more than 21 days.
We want to go more than that. We want to keep it rocking. So what we are looking at, and your face is totally frozen right now. Is mine still there? Ellie, you should come look at this. Are you right? Are you there, Mark?
Yep.
Man, that was weird. I'm going to keep going with this video because it said internet connection unstable.
Right.
Froze in like the most contemplative look. But anyway, here's the.
Let's better get to the mission quick.
We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's just more entertaining. But we want to commit to a good habit that is going to have a long-term positive result. We don't want people to say, hey, here's my New Year's resolution, and I'm going to show up at the gym for a day. So staff, students, parents, volunteers, what I want you to do is starting now, pick a habit that is going to get you towards a goal that you want to achieve and practice that small habit every day from here on out. Staff members, parents, volunteers, check in with students and say, you're supposed to pick a good habit. that you're going to start now and you're going to keep practicing all the way through the new year that's going to support a goal that you want to accomplish. Ask them what that habit is, because there are those great things that we achieve come out of the culmination of adding together a lot of small efforts along the way. And we've got to get started with those small efforts. We've got to support those small efforts. So everybody, pick a good habit that you want to practice starting right now through the rest of the year. And staff, parents, volunteers, make sure you check in with students, ask them what that habit is, and support them in doing that habit. Mark, anything you want to add on that?
Absolutely. So the staff members, if you are doing this, which you should be doing this, you should also share what your habit is with the kids. And also, you might even think about tracking it. So track those days. Be accountable to your students to say, this is how many days I've done the habit. If you make it, great. If you don't make it, right, then you model what failure looks like, and you can talk about why maybe it didn't happen. And then if you make excuses about it, I hope your kids would say, that sounds like an excuse, Mr. Stecker, and you told us not to make excuses.
I like it. Now, there's some research that recently came out that I heard on a podcast called The Hidden Brain, where they said that if you keep a resolution to yourself and don't tell anyone, you're more likely to achieve it than if you say, here's my resolution, and I'm bragging about it, because there is some kind of satisfaction that happens in your brain by just declaring the resolution. So this isn't about declaring a resolution. This isn't about saying, hey, this is what I'm going to accomplish. It's about making a difference towards that every day, no matter how small, no matter how incremental, and the rest of us supporting everybody else, not in the big goal, but in what's happening on a daily basis. It's really easy to congratulate somebody after they pull something off. What is much more difficult is that maintenance on a daily basis of what gets there. So I think we can support each other in this, and I really think that if we all support each other on this, it can make a big difference in our school communities.
Plus, I like how we're not talking about some big, huge, goal. We're talking about a small habit. Because small habits over time can help you reach a big goal. So you may know what that goal is in your mind, right? But you're not going to maybe share that big goal. You're just going to do that little habit.
If you tried to make that big goal happen every day and you didn't get to that big goal, and then you try to make that big goal happen the next day and you still didn't get it, you're not taking your small steps. It's all about taking those small steps. Let's make sure we reinforce our students and support them in those small steps.
It's almost like saying, hey, I'm just going to have a positive attitude, right? But what does that look like? Well, then you got to be specific and say, well, this is what I'm going to do to have a positive attitude.
Everybody I'm going to give a high five because that's going to make things better. That's something small that's manageable.
Exactly.
It almost sounds like that's maybe a mission we've done in the past.
It almost sounds like that.
Yeah, Mark, this may be our most meta mission ever. And I'm not sure I entirely understand the definition of meta, but I'm calling this a meta mission.
Oh, I like it. Meta in front of anything. It sounds pretty good.
It does. So next week when you guys tune back in, we're going to revisit this and tell you how we want to support this in another capacity as we move forward, because this is not just a one-week mission. This is a mission that will make good things happen if we continue it throughout 2017. Oh, whoa.
I like it.
I think that's all I have. You got anything else?
No, I want you to go watch Elf.
I'm going to watch some Elf.
Because you know what that is probably? That's probably a tradition.
It's kind of a tradition. I'm going to look upon my Christmas tree, and it'll be good stuff. Other than that,
I feel like I need to maybe look. Yeah.
That's a good looking tree.
Yeah, man. Trees.
Right on. Trees. That's what it's all about. All right. We'll see you next week. All right, Mark?
Yeah.